Hello, lads and ladies, and welcome back to the channel. It's Wednesday evening today. There was no show on Monday due to illnesses and work got in the way, but we are here for two match days review. We've got 24 games to discuss this evening. Again, so many games, 4 games into the season, nearly 10% through the season already, 90% until I don't have to watch Fleetwood for another 3 months. Come on, the Cods. But again, tonight we are joined by Jake to discuss the weekend's action, Tuesday night's action, a lot of big shocks, a lot of games involved. Let's get him in. Sheffield Wednesday fans, you better get ready for him. But just close your ears now, lads. He's here and he is marvellous. How are we, Jake?
Come on, Nappers. In a great mood, by the way, after last night beating Oxford. Wow. Winning a game of football was amazing, isn't it? Away from home. Yeah, no, I'm good, mate, to be honest. Happy to be talking football. Obviously, I was ill on the weekend, which is why we couldn't record on Monday, sorry. So, no, buzzing, mate, to be honest. Just happy to be back. And I'm knackered, though, Ben. Got home at 2:30 yesterday from Oxford, which is a long old day after a day's work. So, yeah, we go again, don't we? And there's plenty of shocks and great games of football to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I was at Morecambe on Saturday, and then long day Saturday. Finished work at 3 a.m. and then up at 7, and then off to Morecambe, local derby, and then have a race in the evening. It was a long day, but again, a point gained on the day. But we'll talk about that in due course. Get your comments in down below as well. We'll just have a little nosy who is in. Going from the result, but doesn't matter. We're only 4 games in. Every result matters. Every result. If you win that 2-0, you'd be absolutely buzzing. Every result matters, my friends. We noticed that about a lot of teams last year. Hello, a lot of happy Ipswich fans. I'm getting in here today. Up the town. I said before the show there'd be a lot of them in, and they've come in the numbers as well. Fair play to him. Cod Army. Hiya, mate. How are we doing? I bet you enjoy being mewed. Again, I have got the new Fleetwood Town Away shirt on. Very nice. Picked it up yesterday. Only pre-ordered it 2 months ago, but it's finally arrived. A bit like Fleetwood last season, really. It took about 2 months for us to actually win a game of football, but once it did happen, it is good. And also, this shirt will also be in Lincolnshire in about 8 months' time. So I look forward to seeing that.
That's brave, Nappers, considering you're what, 15?
1 point behind you.
Don't matter. We finished 1 point above you, mate. You've still got to wear a Lincoln shirt.
We'll soon see. Paul's come in with a donation. Thanks very much, my friend. Good friend of the channel is Paul. That'll go towards a VK for Jake, and probably be the end of his night again. So, Jake, shall we get into it?
Yeah, why not, Nappers? Where do you want to start?
We'll start off with Plymouth. We're going to go in a bit of a different order. We normally go alphabetical. We're going to go a bit of here, now, and everywhere. Plymouth, again, a mixed week, you could say the least. A home win at the weekend as well, followed by a defeat. What is the time, Jake? It is 5 past. Plymouth yesterday. Two games away, lost both. 2 games at home, won both. They have had a tough start, you can say that, with the games that they've had to play. Finners has scored 2 in 2 home games, you can say. Ballymumba on Saturday also won a penalty. That is 2 in 2 games for him at the time as well. He's looking really promising as well. Last year, they averaged 2 points a game at home as well. So it looks like their home form's continuing, but away from home, to go and lose 5-1 to Charlton. You've got to give Charlton some credit, but on the topic of Plymouth, you'd be a bit worried, wouldn't you?
Yeah, they've had a bit of a mixed 3 days, haven't they? The highs of going and hosting Peterborough, one of the real promotion favourites, and going and playing them off the park and winning 2-0, really comfortable, I thought, on Saturday. Then you go to Charlton, who are a team that are in a bit of a rebuild stage at the moment, and you ship 5 goals away from home. That you're starting to get a little bit concerned about the away form, especially the manner they conceded as well. I mean, the only positive for them on Tuesday night was that Morgan Whittaker got his first goal for the football club. but apart from that, it's bleak, isn't it? You know, you feel for the fans that have gone down to the Valley on a Tuesday night. It's a bit of a trek from Plymouth, and they've shipped 5 goals. So yeah, disappointing. But then you've got to remember that we are only 4 games in. You know, there's still plenty of time to resurrect that away form. Still plenty of time to keep the good home form up, because Plymouth are going to be strong at home because of the fan base they've got, and even they travel away pretty well, to be fair. So I expect them to pick that away form up. They've had 2 pretty tough away games. Charlton is a pretty tough one. Going to Fleetwood, coming from Plymouth as well, it's a bit of a trek. So
longest journey in League One.
Yeah, you've got to factor that in, haven't you? So yeah, I think they'll be better on the road in the next couple of months, but it's not the most convincing of starts.
You've got to remember as well, it's form at the minute, and I'm looking at the table and I'm like, it's so all over the place. It's so hard to do your prep and to write stuff because you're still like, you don't know who's at what, and players are, you know, you're still, I hate the word, but gelling as well. And you've got to add players to the quality that you've already got. Again, we'll go on to Peterborough now, who they did beat. Also on Plymouth as well, a worrying sign is Danny Mayer was set to come on yesterday, and Stephen Schumacher was asked about Danny Mayer, and he said, yeah, he's sound. He was about to come on, didn't come on. Rumoured to be off outside of the football club. Be interesting to see what happens there. But Peterborough, they started well going into that Plymouth game. They were the only side to go in with maximum points. 2 wins from 2 games. Again, of course, beating Cheltenham and beating Morecambe, you'd expect that from the Posh. Going away to Plymouth, they lost. Didn't really create anything bar a Jack Marriott chance. But they bounced back on Tuesday night with a great win over Sheffield Wednesday. Johnson Clark-Harris, one of the top goal scorers in the league. We said it before the season. He bags 20 goals at this level. We know his quality. And he scored a thunderbolt that took off the net at Cheltenham. And they look good in all areas, Posh. And at the moment, 3 wins from 4, especially with the last 2 games that they've had, they've come away in good stead.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to play them next, would you?
No.
At all. Which, unfortunately, that's our job on Saturday. I actually spoke to a Posh fan probably about an hour ago for our preview, and he was on the Plymouth game. He sort of, you know, he diced it up and said, yeah, we just weren't at our best. It's a long trip down. You know, there are going to be days where this squad are going to be on it, and there's going to be days where they're not. And he just said Plymouth played really well and deserved to beat us that day. And then when he spoke about the game against Sheffield Wednesday, he was far more optimistic. Said they took the chances when they came around. And yeah, they're going to be strong, aren't they? Posh are going to be strong. You know, every time they're in League One, because they recruit so cleverly. I mean, the goalkeeper on loan from Chelsea looks a stroke of genius already, doesn't it? He's never had any senior football before. The lad that they signed from Orient, he's done well. Thompson, who was at Gillingham, looks a very astute signing as well. So, yeah, Peterborough look a bit of an animal at the moment. And one of the promotion favourites. I'm not really looking forward to going down to London Road on Saturday. The beer will massively help, I think.
I think with Peterborough as well, I think they are a bit like Sheffield Wednesday. I think at home you're going to have to aim for 50 points, I think, at London Road. I don't think that is a harsh aim at all, because at home they just seem to be able to flick on the floodgates and they're able to score 3 or 4 goals at a time with the way they play, high energy, the cross, you know, quick passing. And I like what Grant McCann's done there. He's got his effect on the squad already. And when you get that, for me, 50 points seems like a lot. You only really need to win maybe 16 games at home, draw 2. You can afford to lose 5 home games with that and get 50 points at home. And then you're looking at, right, 25 points should get you into the playoffs. Last year it didn't, but this year, 75 points should get you into the playoff. If you're a little bit better than that, maybe get 35, you're looking at top 2. And that is where Peterborough just need to find that cutting edge. Again, we're unlucky at Plymouth, but most teams, I bet you less than 4 teams or less will go to Home Park this year and win. Obviously, last year you boys did it. The John Marquis show, and you know, you got a great win, but you were one of, you know, little clubs to go there and get something last year, and that says a lot for what Plymouth did and what Peterborough could do this season. But next up is Cambridge, who, for a time last night, they were top of the league. End the season now. Unfortunately, you go to Fratton Park. 90 minutes is a bit like 900 minutes there when you go 1-0 up. As I think we've all experienced there in recent years. Obviously, you were there 10 days ago, and I bet that was a long 90 minutes for you when they were coming at you and you were defending, really well, to be fair. Good news, Joe Ironside are often running. Sam Smith also got a goal on Saturday after they beat Exeter 2-1 after being a goal down. I'm not worried about them losing JKU against Portsmouth. I don't think that defines the season. I think to get 6 points from the first 4 games, you're beating MK Dons and Exeter both at home. They're up and running. Of course, I'd like to see him get something away from home, but it's been a tricky start.
Yeah, it's that win against Exeter is actually more impressive than you think, isn't it? Purely because of what Exeter have gone on and done since they've been promoted, which will come on when we talk about Exeter. But in terms of Cambridge, it's a game against a newly promoted team. You expect them to, at home, you expect them to put them away. They're pretty decent at home, aren't they, Cambridge? Especially after, they beat MK Dons at home, which has been a bit more of a surprise one. Then you're looking at last night. If you haven't been and watched Tom's video, Falling Written All Over it, make sure you go and check that out because it was really good. Portrayed the game in a very good way, I thought. For the first couple of minutes, from what it seemed like, Cambridge did really well to get the first goal. Joe Ironside, really good finish. Shows you he can do that sort of thing. He's got that in his locker. But when Pompey and like I just said about the other teams, we'll come on to them. But when Pompey are in the form that they are, and they're scoring goals like they are, and they've got the options in that Pompey have got, it becomes a very difficult place to go and hold. Because even with the supporters as well, now that they can fill Fratton Park properly, it just it's a kettle of fish where Cambridge aren't expecting anything. So it's a game that Mark Bonder probably took down when he first saw the fixtures come out and say, if we can get a point, fair enough, but I expect us to lose that one. And ultimately they have done.
I agree. And we're going to come on to Exeter in a minute, but I've always said fans don't win games. Like the Matt that go, I think it's the noise that win games. And Portsmouth do that. And Joey Barton has labelled their trip to Fratton Park on Saturday as, if my players aren't ready for war, then don't turn up at our training ground again. We're going there and it's a battle. And I think that is, for the first time in about 3 years, Joey Barton has spoke something that I agree with. So it is a harsh place to go. And also, Jake, I'll say, I think you were the only side last year, maybe you and Ipswich, that I thought that your fans won your team the game last year against Fleetwood, because the atmosphere from minute 1 to 90 was off the charts, and sometimes it has that effect. Again, we've got a £1.79 donation. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. Keep those chats coming. We will come to them during the stream as well. So we are looking at the Portsmouth are looking a very good side. We're going to come to Portsmouth very soon. Cheers, mate. Peterborough are a yo-yo club. Again, keep coming with your opinions, and we'll have a Q&A live at the end. And another 79p don't know, mate. Thank you very much. But Exeter started strong. They won 7-0 in the cup against Charlton. They're up and running in the league. They've got 7 points on the board. They smashed Port Vale. They smashed Wickham last night as well. Unfortunate on Saturday, but they bounced back really well last night with a great win over a fumbled and a missing puzzle Wickham side, I'll say the least. But they started strong. Yeah,
really impressive Exeter. That point that we got against them on the opening day is looking pretty tasty, isn't it? Like I say, really impressed. Sam Nombe's taken to the level really well. Giovanni Brown's done the same.
It'll be as well.
Yeah, I was about to mention, interesting to see how they get on in the next 3 without Giovanni Brown. He's a massive part of them. I think Jordan, the Exeter fan that I've been speaking to, he's intrigued to see if Matt Jay's going to step into the fold a little bit more. He's the captain, obviously. He's not really pulled it at the level so far compared to Giovanni Brown. He's looking to see if he can do that while Giovanni's out the side. But beating Wickham at home is because Wycombe are no mugs, are they? These are the playoff finalists of last season. Yes, Wycombe haven't got the business done that they want to have done, absolutely. And I don't know if you have Broom on Snapchat, Nappers, but he's moaning about Wycombe not signing anybody, and it's absolutely hilarious. But no, it's difficult for Wycombe because quite clearly they need additions and they're not getting them in at the moment. And Exeter, I think, took advantage of the fact that they've not got a settled squad just yet and they're not balanced. Can you hear my Alexa? Can you hear that? Sorry.
I know. I'd say Alexa, delete him off the stream.
Alexa,
again,
please be
I think
quiet.
maybe Alexa speaks more sense than Jake, a Sheffield Wednesday fans.
She's been quiet. Right. I hope
Very
she's
good.
turned the bloody internet on.
Anyway, Port Vale next, who have just signed Fleetwood striker Ellis Harrison. Ellis Harrison also links up with Darryl Clark for the first time since his Bristol Road days, where probably got the best out of him in his career, really, Ellis Harrison. Ellis Harrison came into Fleetwood, did a job, scored 6 and 18 last year, and probably his goals were just about enough to keep us up last year. A bit like John Marquis for the Imps as well, both coming from Portsmouth. He scored last night on his second game, his away debut, away at MK Dons in a 2-1 defeat. 4 points from 4 for Vale. They beat Fleetwood since then. It's been up and down, losing to Exeter on the road, a decent point at home to Bolton, but again, losing to MK Dons. It's been a tough run of games for them since the Fleetwood defeat, so I'm not going to be too harsh on them, but Port Vale maybe, after that game, been brought back to reality of what a tough League One could be.
Yeah, I think so. The game last night just seemed a little bit. I think it was more MK being pretty good rather than it was Port Vale being bad. So based on that, like I just said with Mark Bonner and taking games off that they think they can win, they probably left last night as one that they thought they'd get beat at. I think the jump into League One from League Two, people say it's not massive at all. I think people are quite rude about it in terms of it's quite big, actually, isn't it? Because I think a lot of the teams currently in League One down the bottom could come back up straight through League Two. So yeah, difficult, but Port Vale have had a tough start. 4 points is not bad. They keep going at a point a game. They get to 46. Probably sends them down, but based on last year, keeps them up, doesn't it? Because of the horrendous quality that was at the bottom end of League One last year. But Vale, a solid start. Point against Bolton's a good point. Winning against your boys was a good result as well, because they're, you need to beat your teams getting to be down and around you at the same time. So massive win for them that day. But I think they'll be looking to improve on Saturday for sure.
Yeah, agree. Again, bringing Ellis Harrison will suit Port Vale, but they're playing a Bolton side for me who won 2, drawn 2, one of 5 sides. Yet to lose in League One this season, and I knew that face would come up, and I knew the little eyebrows would come up there. Lincoln City are also one, as well as are Ipswich, as a Portsmouth. Again, just some of the teams doing really well in League One this season. Again, decent point for them, but a great win last night against Morecambe. 1-0, got the job done. They've won 2 games at home, yet to concede as well. They've got 3 clean sheets in a row. They've only conceded just the one away at Ipswich on the opening day, where they were probably fortunate to come away with a point that day. But decent signs of Bolton. They're playing some really nice stuff, and there's a reason why they're going to be up there this season. And for me, I tipped them, and I like the new lad on loan from Liverpool. I think he's come into his own there. I think they're pretty much settled squad, unless one goes or one gets injured. I think Bolton's business is done now, and with the crowds that they get, and I like what they're doing. They're also, by the way, putting the away fans right at the top, right out the way as well. So that is another bit of a tactical advantage at Wanderers. Wednesday, right? Wednesday, fans just hold your ears. I'm going to let you do the talking at the start, and I'll come in. Sheffield Wednesday, 7 points from 4, 4 points at home, 3 points away. What are we saying?
Yeah, not bad. Bit underwhelming considering they're everyone's title favourites. I I think the game against Charlton on Saturday, from what I've seen, it looked pretty cagey, pretty even. Everyone was a little bit on edge, but it was Tariq Backinson, wasn't it, that ultimately got the goal. And then you're looking at last night. Last night was absolutely massive in terms of, they're the two teams that I've picked for automatic promotion. It's a game where you can look to get an early advantage in the run in terms of points. And Sheffield Wednesday, I think, just let themselves go let themselves down a little bit. To be honest, you look at the stats. Posh had twice the amount of shots, 3 times the amount of shots on target. Run out deserved winners in the end. Obviously, the red card changed the game, didn't it, from Reece James? I don't know if you saw, Nappers, the clip of George Byers being sent off.
Yeah.
Not good PR for the football club. I understand it's great that players don't want to come off. But if your manager decides that you're the right man to come off, you have to be professional and suck it up. I know it's in a big game. So I think Darren Moore and Wednesday fans, who took quite a lot of fans to pick Peterborough the other night, which is fair credit to them. I think they were disappointed in last night that they didn't show themselves in the best light, because they are better than what they made out last night. And yeah, they've just got to bounce back on the weekend, haven't they? You say this for so many teams that lost over the last couple of days. The biggest thing you can do now on Saturday is go and get another win, because whilst the table is so tight, giving yourself another win is going to put yourself back up there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what Wigan did last year. I mentioned so many times, every side went on a 5-game bad run. It'll happen this year, by the way. Every team in this league will go on a 5-game bad run. And it's all about how you bounce back. And last year, the 5-game bad run came for teams at the wrong end of the table, the wrong end of the season. Like Plymouth were good for 41 games. The last 5 games, they let themselves go, and that's where other teams capitalised. They are a very good team Wednesday. I don't like what Briars did. I think that he'll put that right, the player that he is and the quality that they've got, but it doesn't look good, and maybe just dampens the authority of the manager as well. You saw the Kepa incident 3 or 4 years ago at Wembley. Get off the pitch. Do your talking inside the dressing room. Don't because fans are going to be on him now. Fans are going to be on the manager. Oh, if they lose the next one, is he right? Are the team settled? And that's where questions coming. For me, Wednesday have to win the next game. And it is worrying times, because Wednesday I expect them to be at this level all the time, and when they dip a little bit, which they did last year, they were underwhelming in a lot of games last year. I thought Wednesday, where they got the job done, but they didn't do it to a standard of what other teams were doing, and that showed in the playoffs against a well-organised, well-capable Sunderland team. Charlton, I want to give a lot of credit to, because a lot this season, the away at Acton is a tough place to go. Probably, in my opinion, one of the toughest places to go in League One, for how open the stadium is and how good they are at home and how many goals they score. And then again, back to the Valley, they beat Derby by 1-0. And then to go to Wednesday, it's a tough place to go. They keep it, fairly contained. And then, go and beat Plymouth 5-1 with 5 different goal scorers. I think they scored 8 goals this year with 7 different goal scorers. And that just shows you how many goals that Charlton can score from different areas. And it's a massive, massive key to have, where you're not just relying on one man.
What it shows you, Ben, is that the manager's starting to implement his ideas onto the squad.
Yes.
Garner is a very, very offensive, heavy coach, isn't he? You look at his Swindon team last year, most shots on target, most attempts at goal, most crosses into the box, most forward passes. It's no surprise to anybody, I think, that watched League Two last year and has seen Garner come into Charlton and gone, they're going to score a lot of goals for fun. And I think the one that they're probably going to like the most is the lad from Crystal Palace, Jerison Raksaki, is it? The lad who's been tearing it up in Premier League 2. We were linked with him a little bit. I'm not sure how happy the Charlton fans are that he's come from Crystal Palace. But no, to go and demolish a team like Plymouth, who were streets above Charlton last year at home, it is positive, isn't it? And who they got on the weekend? I'm just trying to have a look. Charlton, they got Cambridge at home on the weekend as well. another winnable game for them. So you go and win that. That's 2 on the bounce, and you're all of a sudden you're forgetting about that Sheffield Wednesday game, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. On to Accrington now. We're going to rattle through these again. Game off yesterday due to horrendous weather, and I'll be honest with you, I thought the game would be in doubt as soon as I saw writing that TikTok guy from Morrison's TikTok about the heavy rain. I thought, the game could be in trouble here, and it was. Again, off yesterday, but Accrington are good away from home. I did fancy an Accrington 1-0 slender victory of the day off, but all through the week I thought Forest Green will win this game. But again, we'll go about the draw on Saturday. They were 3-0 down, 4-2 down, 4-4. Keller Dunn scored 3 for Burton. An unbelievable hat-trick, really. But Burton showing the weaknesses. But Accrington Stanley, again, they never say die. Another late goal to add to the collection already this season. They scored one in the last home game. Sean McConville already on 3 goal contributions this season. It just shows you what spirit, fight, determination and quality they have, especially at the WAM.
Yeah, Ben, I'm not too happy with Accrington based on Saturday. They were the only team that let my bet down. So you look at Burton at home and the plummet that Burton are in. You go, right, Accrington, there's your job. Go and put them in. Earn me a bit of money. What did they do? I look at my phone, 3-0. I'm thinking, oh my Christ, on a bite. But then my mates decide, it's fun and games. While I'm a little bit under the weather and a little bit drunk, they go, oh, Accrington have got it back to 4-4. They're on top now. I'm thinking, oh God, I might be in for a bit of money here. But no, do you know what? I think, we'll come on to Burton as well, but I think Burton deserve a bit of credit because going to Accrington and coming away with something is going to be difficult, isn't it? And to score 4 goals up but do you know what? It reminds me a little bit, if you can remember, towards the back end of last year, Charlton went up there, didn't they, and drew 4-4. And the game reminded me a lot of that. Some really good goals.
Goalposts.
And then Accrington just go and do what they do at the end of the game and go and score. And then, 96 this time? So, yeah, I'm sure Accrington are absolutely delighted, but I am absolutely fuming with John Coleman and his team for not being able to put Accrington to bed. So, fingers crossed, next time if I chuck some money on them, they might be able to do me a favour.
Well, they are another side yet to lose. They've only played 3 games, but 2 draws and a win. And Burton, who we've discussed again, a bit worried about them at the moment. The amount they've conceded 12 in 4 games, and that says a lot. Kept it down to 1 yesterday against a decent Ipswich side. We'll come to Ipswich in a bit. But again, positive signs for Burton in the last maybe 2 games or so. Much better to the Burton of old. But I think it's only still 3 wins in 23 games. Worrying signs. We said last year that they could be in trouble. This year they look tired. They look weak. I thought Gaffer Madimi, to be fair, ran the channel really well against Accrington for the first time probably since he's joined them. He played a really good game and he did score his first goal away from home since the middle of March.
Yeah, the signs that they are improving, and the thing is with Burton, you have to remember they brought in a lot of bodies over the summer, like many clubs have done, granted, but it's difficult to gel under a manager that doesn't particularly want to be there. It makes it a bit harder as well, doesn't it? So, yeah, signs that Burton are improving slightly. They're going to need to improve at a bit more of a faster rate to jump in with the teams that are definitely going to be down there that probably can pull away from them. But, signs of improvement. And I'm sure Jimmy Floyd will be a little bit happier this week than he was last week, even though he's only got 1 extra point.
Perfect. Thank you, Jake. Again, get liking the show so far, guys. We're halfway through. We are going to do the rest of the 14 teams in League One. And we'll also have a little look into the next couple of weeks as well. And also we'll get your questions in at the end as well. Bristol Road is up next. Again, lost their opening day. They wrapped a couple of changes and they won 2 in a row. Again, to go to Burton and win 4-0 and then to beat Oxford at home by 1-0. Jake got a little bit of stick for calling that a derby. Not a derby. A lot of Bristol Rovers and Oxford fans were saying as well. Marcus up and running as well, which is good news for Marcus and good news for Bristol Rovers. Unfortunately, again, 3-0 away at Barnsley on a Tuesday night. It was always going to be difficult. But I think you'd accept 6 points from your opening 12 available with the teams that you've played. You're up and running. You've taken 50% of your points. You've won a game away from home. You've won a game at home. You've kept a clean sheet at home. You kept a clean sheet away. That is what you want to do in your first 4 or 5 games, is to get up and running, give you confidence boosting. Joey Barton's Blues are on their way.
Yeah, and just to add to that as well, you've got your strikers scoring. John Marquis scoring is big for them. You know, like we've seen with Portsmouth and with Lincoln, he can go on a bit of a run. So, you know, give him a few opportunities, he can go on, you know, score 3 or 4 in a row. And they've also got Archie Collins scoring again, haven't they? He was a massive part of their promotion season last year, and he's got 3 already, I believe. So, you know, good to have their players that are stepping up with them, stepping into the division and performing really well.
Yes, Oxford again, you saw last night, not brilliant. They lost 3 of the opening 4 games as well. Normally Oxford on a Tuesday night, time to bounce back at home. You normally put your money on a 2 or a 3-1 win, whoever they play, because of the style of football that they play. I have said for a while, Oxford are a little bit like a bottle of Pepsi. I think that you're halfway through it really, and it's losing its fizz a little bit, and you just need something to revive it. I reckon 2 or 3 players. I don't think they're that far off. I just think they need 2 or 3 more additions of genuine quality, maybe the forward line and one in the attacking midfield line, just to add a little bit of something to it, a bit of bump to go, wow, that is a good signing, and to give the confidence back as well. I thought when I've seen things when they went 1-0 and 2-0 down to you, Lincoln were to a man. You could talk about it in a minute when we discuss Lincoln, because they are next. Just looked well organised, well drilled, and the opposite of Oxford, who looked like a bit clueless, really, a bit like me Monday morning in maths. You know what I mean? Like, not got a clue.
Yeah, they were running around like headless chickens last night. It became a little bit chaotic. It became a bit of a cup tie, really, towards the end, which gives you no heart palpitations if you're the team that are winning, does it whatsoever? No, the thing with Oxford under Robinson, and it's happened a lot under his regime, they start slow. They always do. And the thing with Oxford is, was it maybe the year they snuck into the playoffs with the COVID year? They went on a run of maybe 15 games where they didn't lose. And they've got that in them because they have the quality. They have some very good players that at the moment are just underperforming because they've not really. And mine, Tom, thank you. Yeah.
He's not close, Tom.
Yeah. With where was I going? Yeah. They just need a couple of good players. They've signed some good players. Joseph's a good player. Murphy's a good player. They've just got to get them on the pitch more often than not. So, yeah, for Oxford, I'm sure they'll improve, but they need maybe 3 or 4 bodies, like you say.
Yeah, agree. I'll also say something as well. The year that he's looking to play us and lost out to Blackpool, and Blackpool beat Lincoln. I know I don't like saying that either, Jake, don't worry.
No.
But the first 16 games, they won 4, drew 4, lost 8. They had, 16 points from 16 games. The last 30 games, they won 18 of those. 18. They drew 4, lost 8. So, you know what I mean? You can easily go and pick up 58 points. They went to go and pick up from you know what I mean, 90 points available. That is just ridiculous at any level as well. So they've done really, really well to do that. And I still think that they are a bit off, but they are a very, very good side that have gained. I just think they're 2 or 3 away. But again, great win for you boys. Again, 4 games, unbeaten. If I'm honest with you, you've drawn as extra Forest Green Rovers. You'll have come up and probably the worst time to play them. Let's be honest with you. And you've got 2 decent points away from home. You've probably been at home. You've probably come out a bit. Oh, I'm a shame we haven't lost that. Every time you've come away, you've gone. Tell you what, we've done well there. You've got away at Fratton Park and drew 0-0. Defended really well, and gone to Oxford 1-2-1, and seen the City win away. And you should be very, very happy away from him. It's just, where's his home form gone? This is what I always say about you. 2 years ago, if you lost a home game, it was like, what's happened here then?
If I'm honest with you, Ben, if I'm being very, very critical of Kennedy and the team, I think we should be sat on 8 points at the moment. Yeah. I honestly think we do. Based on the game against Forest Green, I'm not sure if you've seen the highlights back or anything like that. Should have won the game. Countless amounts of opportunities. Jordan Garrick has come into the building from Swansea. He was at Plymouth last year and did really well. He made an impact and should have scored a hat-trick himself. We had countless chances before Conor Wickham took that one chance and scored for them. And then last night, a result that I can't say I expected. Oxford are always one of those sides, aren't they, that are up there, even though they haven't probably got the biggest budget. They're definitely always up and around, sniffing in the playoffs. And they're a good side. The fact they've got Cameron Brannigan still at the football club, they're paying him a lot of money, aren't they? That a lot of clubs like Lincoln can afford.
£500,000 a week. £500,000 a season.
It's ridiculous, and they've got some very good footballers in the squad. Matty Taylor is a good, as much as the wind-up merchant he is, he's a good footballer. And last night, we're frustrated because last year we were very soft. We were very, if you wanted to stand up to us, we would just roll over and you can tickle our bellies and we wouldn't do anything about it. This year, if you try and roll us over, we'll smack your jaw out of place because we're a bit tougher, we're a bit nastier. That's what I think we were missing, last year. And ultimately, we were defensively so good last night in terms of, we were without Carl Rushworth, who is no doubt our first choice goalkeeper, having to bring Jordan Wright in. That's no discredit to Jordan Wright. Jordan Wright played really well towards the back end of last year for Lincoln when Josh Griffiths went back to West Brom because of his injury. But yeah, like I say, we just stopped Oxford playing completely. And the first half, again, I'm not sure if you saw the goals. Max Sanders, great third man runs from midfield. Great ball in from Scully to find Tom Hopper, his second of the season. Great for the captain that he scored 2 in 4. And then the second goal is Anthony Scully all over, isn't it? It's cutting in on the left, right foot. You saw it, Ben, twice last year, once last year. We've seen it a few times. I know there's a few Charlton fans in here. They've definitely seen it. Cambridge United fans have seen it. Anthony Scully, when he's in that left flank and he cuts in on his right foot and he shoots, there is only one place the ball's going to end up, and it's in the back of your net, unfortunately for you. His attitude is a thing that I can talk about for ages as well. And then the second half, I don't know what Carl Robinson said, but he absolutely gave him a skinful. And with the weather conditions, like I said earlier, it became a bit of a cup tie. They threw the kitchen sink at it. They got a penalty. I think it was pretty soft. Joseph was, had his shirt pulled from Max Sanders. I agree. But he's given it as much as he's taken it, which is why I didn't think it was a penalty. And then from then on in, Oxford peppered the goal, but didn't have anything concrete. And if they did, it was blocked and blocked and blocked. And I think what epitomised it, Ben, and this will be the last thing on it, because I know I've gone on for a while about Lincoln, and I do apologise because nobody else here was a Lincoln fan apart from Jack, my barber. There you are, mate. Free haircut. That's me and his good books now. What was I saying? The thing that epitomised last night for me, Ben, was at the full-time whistle, we'd made a block or something seconds before, and Pordy O'Connor and Regan Poole were both down on the floor, got up and chest bumped one another, and it was amazing. I was so happy, and I feel like we're back. I just feel like the passion is back. We're nasty.
Oh, he said it,
we're back.
He's done a Rio Ferdinand.
Well, put a contract in, let him sign it, whatever numbers he want. We're back. We're back to being what Lincoln City are, and that's a team that can challenge, and that's a team that you aren't going to walk all over. And because that was the frustrating thing last year, and this year I think we're not going to get battered. Last year we got tactically battered, we got battered on the score sheets, and this year, although Kennedy's not got the pedigree such as Michael Appleton, he's got the players playing a proper good way, and you'll see it next Saturday, Ben, how different we are now. But yeah, I've said my dues. Yep, up the Imps. Thank you. 4 points, should be 6, but you know, I can't ask for everything. I'm aware of that. I'd like to be sat on 8 points, but we're not. So happy days.
Very good. Again, Forest Green Rovers came away with a point. Conor Wickham with a wonderful goal. Again, 4 points so far for them with a game in hand. Derby County up next. James Collins is waiting for that first elusive goal. And the longer it goes on, the more pressure that builds, the more intention. A bit like when Will Grigg went to Sunderland, it reminded me, it was just, waiting for that first goal. It could become like a Vic Star in the side and just trying to give him the ball to score at every given opportunity. He just needs that goal. Derby again at home. They've won both games. Again, beating Barnsley at home is a good result. Obviously, they won on the opening day as well. Away from home, just a 1 point away last night against Shrewsbury. Again, Shrewsbury can battle with the big boys, can't they, Jake? And we've seen that over the last few years as well. But Barnsley, though, again, starting to get into the groove, I'm finding as well. They've lost both games away from home, but they've won both games at home against Charlton and Bristol Rovers as well. Again, Devante Cole is up and running. Again, they've got a lot of other good players as well. Who can score goals at this level that we've seen. Where do you think that they both end up at the end of the year? Because Derby and Barnsley are both sides that I think that are 3 or 4 players off that have had big transfer windows of ins and outs, and both got new gappers in the dugouts.
If you had to ask me now, I'd say Barnsley just in the playoffs and Derby just out. That's my perception at the moment. The thing with, if you look at Cheltenham under Duff, their home form was immaculate. They were so good at home, and if he can bring that to Barnsley, they're going to do well, aren't they? And the fact that the Barnsley at this level, they're going to pick points up away from home. Who have they played away from home? Plymouth, that's a tough game, isn't it? And Derby, another tough one. And then you're looking at Derby, like you say, Collins, it'll be, it's like, chasing around a bird in a nightclub into you're trying to desperately trying to get it. That hits a bit close to home nappers, doesn't it? Anyway, Barnsley in the playoffs. He's gone. Yeah, this would be that'll be nappers next Friday night in Lincoln. Anybody in Lincoln, come out, because we're taking nappers to somewhere called The Scene. He's going to absolutely love it.
Ipswich. Anyway, Ipswich Town. Again, I want to talk about Ipswich because everything that I've wanted them to do in games, they've done. And also, I want to mention, they've got Wes Burns up and running, thriving, scoring goals, looking sharp, running down that right-hand side, bursting forwards, getting crosses into the box. They've got Junaid Estienne doing the same thing as well. I think he's got 2 assists already from that. They've got Marcus Hahn who's up and running, scoring goals as well. They've got Connor Chaplin off the mark as well. Just need Freddie Ladapo to get up and running, but they've got 10 points. They're in double figures. They're 20% towards safety. They're going to be nowhere near. But for me, Ipswich need to get to 50 points and then look at 60 points, then look at 70 points. You've got to take one man at a time. And one thing that they are doing, Jake, they're keeping clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet. And that is what I like. That's what they did last season for a 12-game period. It gave them belief that they can get into the playoffs. Because I don't care what anyone say, you keeping clean sheet after clean sheet makes you harder to beat, and it also gives you more belief that you're going to win many games. And if you can do that, you're going to be successful. Brilliant from Ipswich.
Yeah, they look like that side again that went on that run, don't they? Except they've added a bit more quality into the final third. Whereas if they, I think they drew a few games in that run, didn't they? Whereas I don't think they're going to draw so many games this time around. Marcus Harness, what an inspired signing that's proving out to be. Done really well at Portsmouth, and he's made the transition straight over to Ipswich, where there's perhaps a bit more pressure on him than there is at Portsmouth to get himself up. And ultimately, he's come into that squad 3 and 3's fantastic for any new signing. So, Yeah, I'm really happy with Ipswich and the way they're playing. Obviously, until they play Lincoln, hopefully they're on a bit of a bad run then. But no, a superstar team, massive football club, great support base that shouldn't be at this level, but that's half the league. But this time they're acting, they're acting their age and they're acting their size, and fingers crossed they can get the job up, because we're fed up with Ipswich fans saying, "Oh, we should be up, we should be up." Well, go and get yourselves up, and we'll congratulate you at the end of the day, I think.
That means with Sunderland as well.
Yeah.
MK Dons, Jake, again, lost the first three. Great win last night at home. 35-year-old Bradley Johnson with 2 goals. Out of all the goal scorers that you could see scoring goals for them this season, 35-year-old Bradley Johnson, ex-Blackburn, getting 2 last night at Stadium MK. That'd be a big win for them, Jake, off and running.
Yeah, first win of the season is always the one that you want to pick up, because you don't want it going on for too long.
Especially at home.
Especially at home, yeah. And they've lost games that they should think they probably should win, given the fact they were playoff semi-finalists last year. Yeah, that win's just going to be massive for Liam Manning and his group. It shows that, if it's Johnson that's scoring the goals, that it's not just the strikers that they're going to be relying on, not going to be relying on just Mo Issa and players of that ilk. So I think there'll be a bit more of a positive moment around the MK fan base, or however many of them there are. But I'm sure now that the ball will roll, and they'll get themselves into some sort of form.
Brilliant. Again, Shrewsbury went to Wickham and got a great win, being 1-0 down for a Gareth McCleary goal. A weird goal, just bounced in front of the goalkeeper, Marco Morosi, the Slovakian stop-shopper. And then Pennington gets a goal, and Luke Leahy from the spot. 2 great goals. It's the first win at Wickham in the 15th attempt. Again, Wickham normally get one over at the Shrews as well. Again, I always say Shrewsbury, they are the side that I always feel that can challenge the better sides. They've gone and got 4 points from 2 promotion favourites, or sides that you're going to see in the top 10 at the end of the year, Jake.
Yeah, no, and everyone sort of thought that Shrewsbury were in a bit of bother, didn't they, when they lost to Accrington on opening day?
They never bother.
But yeah, it was a great result away at Wickham, really good result away at Wickham, and I think they probably deserved it, actually. And then to take a point off Derby last night, it's steady, isn't it? But the thing with Shrewsbury and so many teams, it's get to 50 quickly as you can, and whatever you can is a bonus. And I think for them, it'd be a similar sort of steady season. But taking 4 points off 2 promotion teams is definitely a good thing for them.
Agree. And Wickham again are looking short, especially in the goalkeeping area. They are looking at Scottish goalkeepers. One from Livingston reports today. Again, I think there'll be one coming in through the building, if not before Saturday, before the next game as well. Losing 3-1 at Exeter last night isn't a great sign. These are not what Wickham normally do. And since that opening day where they won against Burton, they've conceded 8 goals, only scored 2. Obviously, they conceded 3 away at Bolton. They conceded 2 at home. There should have been 3 away at Exeter. Normally, Wickham aren't normally like that. They're normally the odd goal specialists that just keep keeping games for as long as they can. And if they lose it 1-0, they'll be bounced back. And is this their 5-game period where they're on a bad run? Let's see.
Yeah, I think it probably will be. I mean, for their sake, you hope so, don't you? But yeah, not really playing like Wickham Wanderers at the moment. We say so often that the game is played at their tempo. They dictate the rules, and so far this year they've done it once to a really poor Burton side. But anyone that's given them a bit of fight, not particularly great, is it? Now, Ben, I'm going to switch it round to you, because your team's coming up soon, and we're going to talk about your favourite rivalry, the Shrimps. Obviously, they've had a bit of an indifferent weekend. Losing to Bolton last night, getting a point against you guys. What were your thoughts on their weekend?
Again, Morecambe, you know what you're going to get from a Derek Adams side. They're well organised. They try and get themselves hard to beat. And one thing that he's done this season, ever since he's come back into the football club, is they don't concede many goals. Before he came in, the defence was an absolute laughing stock. You were getting 2 goals, 3 goals out of them for fun. How they got out of the league, League Two wasn't pretty. They'd win a lot of games 1-0, maybe score twice or score from set pieces. And they often label it as a Derek Adams masterclass where they get a goal and they sit in the banks or 4-5-1 or a 4-4-2 and then they try and nick something or they're defensively solid. And you can label they've only scored 1 goal this season, but bar the Peterborough game, they've been really solid, only conceding that goal last night as well. And obviously 1 to Fleetwood. So they haven't really been conceding goals for fun like they were last year, and that's an improvement. The one problem is I feel like they're playing with 10 men at the moment. Obika is not a good enough striker. If Cole Stockton is going to leave the football club, as it's rumoured, he's got a long stomach bug. I'll tell you that now. He'll be well enough to travel to his next club, I can tell you that. We'll come on to him in just a little bit. And yeah, it's very interesting. They need someone in through the building. If he doesn't go, are you going to play an unhappy man? Or are you going to, because the fee that you're going to get from the wages that he's on, you can probably sign 2 players, and Morecambe need a strike if they're going to stay up and quickly.
Yeah, agreed. We'll move on to your team then, Ben. Fleetwood. Obviously, you got 2 points over the last 2 games. You know, disappointing, I think. Perhaps maybe, you look at the form that Charlton have been over the last couple, the ship 7 to Exeter, they lost to Portsmouth, they didn't particularly look great. And then you've gone and, you've kept them at 0-0. You've made some good improvements. This week you've signed the lad from Luton that was at Morecambe, Mendes Gomez, who looks a good player. You've signed a keeper from Leicester.
What's his name, Jay?
I'll pass. I'll leave it to you because he plays for your club, mate, not mine. Don't know if he played last night. You'll be able to tell me if he did or not. No, that looks like a no. But 2 points from there. Step closer to 40 points, Ben. That's good for you, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, 5 points from the first 4 games. You look at who you're playing. Port Vale, Morecambe, Charlton, Plymouth. I would want 7. Really, I want an extra couple of points out of those because I thought it was a month where you can gain points. Obviously, we've got Derby and Lincoln to end the month, and I think that we need to end the month on 8 points. Really, I think we need a win. I think we might struggle to get a win in the next 2 games, but I could see it happening either way. Away at Morecambe, I thought for the first half we were okay. They were the better team. They should have scored 3 or 4 in about a 5-minute period. We lost our heads. Again, imagine my shock. And it's the mentality at Fleetwood. I think we've still got that losing mentality, and it takes a long time to fix that. And we've got to get out of it. Luckily, half-time whistle came to our need. And then after the break, Promise Cherry came on, made a difference. Keane Hayes came on, made a difference. And then we had a lot more shots on goal. And Danny Andrew cuts inside on his right foot and scores last night. I thought we were poor. I thought we had an effect on the game. I thought that when we got into the final third, we had no physicality, nothing in the game. So Charlton came with a plan and did it. And 5 points from 4 games. It's not the worst, but we're off and running, and we need to carry on that momentum. I think we're 4 unbeaten now, which is a good sign as well.
Cole Stockton, then talk to me. Called in sick on Saturday. Is he going to be signing for Fleetwood? Because that I can imagine to Morecambe fans to lose. Listen, if I'm Cole Stockton, I can completely understand why a move to Fleetwood would benefit him. He's not got to move house. He's on more money. You guys have got excellent training facilities compared to Morecambe's. I can understand why you'd do it. But then I can also see from the Morecambe point of view where you'd be disappointed to losing to your local rival in the same league who have the same amount of chance of going down as you because you finished above them last year. Yeah. I can completely understand why Morecambe would be annoyed.
I'd be shocked if he joins Fleetwood, if I'm honest with you. I don't think he'll join.
Even at this point, even though you've
thrown bids, I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. Everything that has happened, on Thursday, I got told he was going to pull a sickie. He did. And I thought, no, he won't. I don't believe that. And he did. I just think that other clubs will come in, need a striker, and they'll pay the money that's needed. Bolton, Ipswich, those types of football clubs. Fleetwood have put in 2 bids that have both been rejected, apparently. I don't think wages will be an issue. I think we'll give him what he wants on a long-term deal. He's 28. Give him a 3-year deal. That's a must. We made a mistake with Paddy Madden. Give him a 3-year deal. He'll score goals for us. You've given Josh Villa a 3-year deal, so why can't you give Carl Stockton one? Villa's only, I think, a year or 18 months younger than him. I'll be shocked if he joins, but if he does sign, I'll be happy, very happy.
What's he worth and where's he going then?
I reckon he'll go to Ipswich or Bolton for me.
For summer money? What sum?
250k.
So you've not bid a big amount of money.
You've bid 100 grand for him.
Right.
100 grand.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's what I've been told. It might be wrong, it might be not, but I think we can go higher than that. But for me, let's be honest, he's got 8 months left in his contract. He's had 18 good months, and he's 28. Before he came to Morecambe, his goal scoring record was poor. Let's be honest. I'd have him, but you've got to have a look at the other alternatives. Does he fit our system? Does he fit our model? What we want to do? I don't think so. But I do want to talk about another team, Jake, who have got fantastic strikers. Colby Bishop. He wears the magic hat. 5 goals in 5 in league and cup. Again, scored again last night. 3 and 2 for that man. 2 good wins for them away at Charlton. They beat Cambridge 4-1. Not been a bad week.
Yeah, Pompey are, starting to play up, aren't they? If you pardon the pun. Doing really well. Really happy for Tom that they've eventually given Danny Cowley the time and the resources that he needs to prove to himself and everybody else that he is a very competent League One manager at the very least. I think at moments last night after they conceded the goal, I think Pompey looked absolutely excellent. They looked scintillating going forward. You've got the likes of Colby Bishop, as you mentioned. You've not even mentioned Ronan Curtis, who is a figure of controversy at the club. A few want him in, a few want him out. You've got Michael Jacobs, who's been a player at this level, who's fantastic. And
I
think they call him Crackers, which I really like as well. Then you've got on the other wing, you can play Rico Hackett, who's one of their lads, but you've got Dane Scarlett as well, who's just come off the back of winning the Euro under-19 with England. Really good group of players as well. Really highly rated at Tottenham. The one I want to pick up on, and I don't think earns the credit that he should do, is Conor Ogilvy.
That's I'm just about to say about him, Jay. I watched a bit of him, and the way he's been driving out, he should have scored an absolute thunderbolt on Saturday.
Yeah, and he's you look at him, the player that he is now, compared to the player that was at Gillingham a couple of years ago. It's chalk and cheese, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's one of the best performers in one of the best teams of the league. Obviously they're signing good players on. Owen Dale's a good signing. Tommy Lowry's a really good signing. And Marlon Pack as well, who seems to run the show at Pompey nowadays. And yeah, Pompey is starting to you're starting to believe. Like you said, they've only beaten Cheltenham and Cambridge so far, so it's difficult to analyse. But you're looking at Pompey and going, you need to go and beat one of the big boys, and then you're expecting yourself to be up in and around it.
Remember, they won the first 3 games last year, so anything can happen. But good signs. And Charlton again, first point on the board away at Fleetwood yesterday, but 3 tough games to open the season, playing Peterborough and Portsmouth and Barnsley in that run. They'll be more than fine now. I think they've got that point. Will they still be in trouble? I think so. But again, up and running. Jake, before we get into the last 10 minutes of the Q&A, do you want to plug that channel? Because you've amassed 600. We're now going for 700.
We are.
Plug it down below, my friend.
Yeah, we're looking to get back onto 700 subs. I've literally got content coming out of my ears at the moment. One up today, one up tomorrow, one up on Sunday. So, the Stacey West on YouTube, if you could come over, give us a subscribe. We do a weekly podcast. There's a blog for you to read that has some very good articles done by a guy called Gary, who's a full-time writer. You've got the pod on every Friday lunchtime with Ben, me and Gary, 2 of the 3 normally, dissecting the week as it comes. And then over on the YouTube channel, which is where the content you'll see from me, we do a preview show. So we have an opposition fan on for 10 minutes or so. We have a chat with them, hopefully get a bit of insight. Nappers will be on next week. And then we do something called the West End Imps review show, which is basically just a 5-10 minute breakdown of the game that we played on the Saturday or the Tuesday or whatever. So please come over and subscribe. It's massively appreciated. We are on our way to 1,000, and if we could get there, that would sort of prove to myself and my parents that it's a hobby that's worth keeping, and it's really fun, and really enjoy bringing content to you guys and coming on things like this. So although it makes me completely knackered by the end of the day, because it takes a lot out of you doing this sort of thing. It's worth it to meet people like Ben and meet up for a pint or a VK or two and chew the fat. So no, please consider coming in and subscribing. If you enjoyed the content, drop it a like and a subscribe. Remember, it is all free as well. So please feel free to come over and have a check out.
Yeah, agree with that. And if you are new to this channel as well, we are growing subscribers. We're just over 600 away from 10,000 subscribers. Trying to get that in the next 6 weeks or so. So if you could subscribe down below, it would mean a lot, and get those notifications on. If you've got any questions for the last 4 or 5 minutes of the show, let us know down below for me or Jake about all things League One. Hiya, mate, you okay? Thank you for the post, mate. It really does mean a lot, and hope you're all good. I can't believe Harrison plays for Port Vale. Saw him last night. That's football off and running, Ellis Harrison getting a goal last night. For Vale, I think he'll do okay. Lads, what will be your changes from Team of the Week? All in shop.
I've not seen
Team of the Week.
Let me have a look. League One tip. What, from last night?
I saw the one from Tuesday, from Saturday, and Danny Andrew was in. I was surprised that, although he scored, I was surprised to see him in there.
Let me have a look.
What's Vela been like? Yeah, Vela's been really good, actually. Doesn't stop running, does the hard yards, likes to get forward, good passer of a ball. He plays a bit more deep than I think I'd like him, but he's a very, very good, strong outfit that, you're going to get 7 out of 10 every week. And, I think he's been one of our best players so far.
Ben, Alexa's turned my internet off.
Say it again.
Alexa's turned my internet off, so I can't check the League One Team of the Week.
Oh, it doesn't matter. And do you think Ipswich can get promoted whilst without Selena? Yeah, they've got enough quality there. They have got well enough quality there. They've got Chaplin, they've got goals from Marcus Harness, they've got Wes Burns' goals, they've got Ladapo's goals, who will get up and running, I'm sure of it. They've got goals from Morsey, those types of players as well. And also, your centre halves can chip in now and again as well. You just need goals from, you probably need 10 from Burns, you probably need 10 from Chaplin. If you add them all up, you're going to have enough. You're going to have a lot of goals from a lot of areas, I think, this week. Dinesh should have been in Saturday's Team of the Week. Dinesh, from what I've seen, has looked really strong. His loan spell to Fleetwood has kicked him on. Like, he came along to us and looked solid, but since then, he's gone back to Ipswich. And I'll be honest with you, he's not one of Ipswich's best players in terms of the flair players, but every week he's a 7 or 8 out of 10. And you need those players if you're going to go out of this league. And we talk about it all the time, that Wednesday fans were moaning who they were signing. If you don't sign players like that, you never go up. Charlton are on their way. Again, I think that is the end. Jake, have you got any final words or final things to say?
No, just coming like a bit of a selfless plug again. Just come over. We've got videos coming out of our ears, and I much appreciate this man that I'm hosting with. Without him, I wouldn't have the subscribers that I've got and the opportunity. So massive thanks to Nappers and for putting up with my really bad dad jokes and going on about Lincoln for 2 minutes when I'm only supposed to talk about them for like 45 seconds.
I hear it all week, lads. Don't worry. You're the lucky ones.
And obviously I'm just looking forward to seeing you next week, Nappers, and doing this will be good. So massively appreciated.
Yeah, and thank you for all the donations, guys. They do mean a lot as well. Again, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe as well. We will be having a look at this weekend's game next week as well. It should be a Monday show, all being well. They might be on different days at the moment. We can't commit to one single day, unfortunately, but we will have a League One show every week. We'll try our best. I'll have some League One predictions out for the weekend as well. And if you are new, please subscribe as well. We've got a lot of comments. Thank you to everyone who has joined. And McKenna is at the wheel. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Up the cods, Jake.
Up the imps, Ben.